only, the Barbarian legend, Alex himself, also known as Rex St. Pierre, to those of you who might know him on socials. Um, Alex, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Good
Mr.
deal.
Vavrock, the professor, how are you doing?
Not a professor, but I'm doing well. Just working on some stuff and staying busy, staying warm. As you can tell, I'm like all bundled up in my garage with a stocking cap and all the things because it is -5 Fahrenheit for all you French Canadians tuning in.
That's minus 25 Celsius, just about, which is like stupid cold.
Nice. Yeah, it's chilly out there, but we'll have safe ice for a while now. What's up from Indiana? All right, congrats on the title game not too long ago. So Alex, I know we've been talking a lot on social media about all kinds of stuff, really, and you've got a ton of stuff on tap. What are you probably most excited for? I've got some of your stuff here that I could actually hold up for the camera. We'll see how well this goes for me, like multitasking and trying to prep these blades as I try and hold a conversation.
I'll be in the same boat. I've got I'm busy. You are too. Between family and full-time job and barbarian stuff, I could basically and jujitsu.
Oh
I
yeah,
could
don't forget about
basically
that.
sleep 6 hours a day and still run out of time. Even on my days off, I like don't stop all day long, but I do it because I like it. I do it because I'm a busybody, and a busy mind is a happy mind for me.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
too
Get
many
that.
projects at the same time. So many projects, but the killer, the winner, the success story from last season is Elvis, the king of rock and
Elvis.
roll. Should I?
Yeah.
What color do you want to see, Matt? Pick a
You
color, pick a pattern,
you
and I might have it here because I've got my Odyssey baits painted.
you hold them up because I got one of your piranhas here. I'm gonna try not to drop it on the blades that I
Okay.
just finished. That would be bad.
What do I want to put? Let me
Those are sharp. Those are BKKs on that bad boy.
grab. I could grab a classic.
I am not from Australia. I'm from
I could
Iowa.
show you. Nah, well, Pete. I can't. Yeah. Let me
Well, what do
grab
you?
something. I'll grab
Okay,
something.
okay. You
I'll
got.
grab something. Dadson inspired.
Oh. Well, okay, but like we got to talk too about who inspired the Elvis because you've been kind of pumping this on the social circles, some of the same circles that we're in, for probably the last 6 months or so. Not really readily available to the public yet, but definitely a lot of hype around the Elvis. Um, we should also probably talk about how you name that thing because that is somewhat unique.
When I was a kid, did you get a look at it, Matt? Or you were when
Oh,
I was
sorry,
a
I was
kid?
looking down. Yeah, no, that's
Stan
awesome.
Snow color. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, I loved Elvis, and I told myself I'd like to make a bait that doesn't just catch a fish; it catches all the fish. And
Yep.
I had to go to version 2 on this guy. Version 1 caught fish. Version 1 caught a fish within 5 minutes of being put in the water. So I knew I wasn't.
Okay.
So I knew I
Too far
wasn't
off.
far out in left field. But then version 2 got all my trolling fished except one this year. So I think I got 9 trolling muskies this year.
Okay. That's pretty
In
decent.
under 10 days of fishing,
Yeah.
trolling Elvis with 4 different lips. And the lip I brought out to the public was the most user-friendly lip. And it's just
okay.
Yeah,
because you talked about having a shallow and a deep version.
Yeah.
So first off, this guy hunting outdoors is wondering what kind of paint we use. So I'll go first, and then you talk about it. And
Okay.
when I'm painting, I just use rattle cans, which is very unique and not common for doing what we do. So there's plenty of people who probably give me some flack for it, and there's advantages and disadvantages to each. Alex, what I know you're more of an airbrush kind of guy, so
Yeah.
Um,
I'll prime some baits with a spray can, and
mhm.
it's acrylic paint.
Yeah.
Acrylic paint. So it's not like a fancy spray can. It's any acrylic spray can.
Well,
But
that's what I use for mine as well. That's what I
yeah,
prime with.
I don't know what the brand is. If anybody wants to know, I can send them the picture. I've got cans. I don't have cans here. But as you can see in the background, I don't just use one type of
Right.
airbrush paint. I use all types of airbrush paints. Uh, so Createx, and Createx Wicked are some of the ones I use. But I also like Meeden. I also like X Dove.
Okay.
And I use these homie party, but I don't like it. I hate paints that you have to elaborately mix. I like
Okay.
paints that you can just shoot, and the paints that you can just shoot are quite rare. But I use everything. It's like glitter. I use every glitter I can get my hands on too. It's more it's like musculars, right? It's what tool
Yeah.
suits you? What do you prefer? There's a
I
lot of
get
stuff
it,
out
man.
there.
Yeah, I mean, what works best for some doesn't work best for all. I'm exiting for a second to set some of these down because I'm running out of room.
Okay.
I don't really want to scuff them up after I made them look all pretty. So, but no, that makes a lot of sense. I know you and Tusi. I appreciate your perspective on painting on a lot of this shit. So that's yeah, that's been great. And I don't know. It's I wouldn't do it like you said. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it, even though it's just one more thing in a long line of things that you got to do. Okay, so that was a good. Okay, he appreciated that answer. Okay, good. Uh, Chris says hi from Canada. Hi from Canada, indeed, Chris. I am from Iowa, but Alex isn't.
Quebec, yeah. I'm from Quebec, Canada. Back to the airbrush.
Hmm.
There's a lot available on Amazon, but they're not very expensive, right? So even if you spend 10, $15 and you don't like it, it's 10, 15
Right.
bucks. You don't like it, you'll have to mix it till you're done with it, and that's it.
Right.
I'll also use this crazy cheap deco art that you get in any craft store, but I'll use that when I'm using a brush or a piece of foam. So
Okay.
I use everything, and like I said, I try it. If I don't like it, it goes right in the garbage. If I like it, it sits there. Sometimes it sits there, and I forget about it.
That makes a lot of
Um,
sense.
and some of those paints that are ready to shoot out of the bottle, sometimes
Hmm.
they're too liquid and they splash. They go right in the garbage too. Like I can't. You're painting high end baits for appreciated clients. You can't mess with tools that don't work properly. I can't. I don't have time for that shit. I don't.
I get it, man. I get it. Yeah, that was kind of what the just spray it out was kind of the attraction, especially when I don't have a lot of time and like cleaning the airbrush and all the things. I probably should
Yeah,
have done more research than I did, but you know what? I just was stubborn and I did my thing, and now it's kind of just my own thing. So
work.
whatever. Um, yeah, French Canada, right? Because
That's
like
right.
I heard your kids speaking French in the background a little bit while you were getting stuff prepped, and
Yeah,
that
they
always it always
French and
catches me
English.
off guard.
Yeah. Yeah. The area I live in is bilingual, but mostly francophone. So there's English schools and French schools, but let's say only 20% of the population speaks English. So the French school's bigger, and there's more French schools.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, well, shoot. Okay, so I mean, it's not Barbarian just isn't a one trick pony, right? I mean, like you've got lots of irons and lots of fires with what you've got going on, and probably more ideas than time to work with. So, talk to me, Alex, about a few of these things that you're working on and have been working on in the off season. I know, like the only show. Are you going to New York or just mostly the Odyssey? Is
New
kind of what
York
you're
and the
planning.
Odyssey. Yeah, New York's
Okay,
coming up. It's
very
next
soon.
week. Next weekend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
one
right.
more week. I'm really looking forward to that. New York's an amazing time. That I uh, I was listening to the Muskie Hunts podcast this week, and they had Grandpa
Nice.
Elkins on there.
Yeah, I
What
just got done listening to that.
what an amazing storyteller! I think it was
Oh
a
my gosh.
3 hour and 40 minute long podcast, and
Yeah, it
I
was.
wanted more.
I
I
know, right?
wanted, and his stories were life and fishing. But he was
Yeah.
really big on, I wish people were honest and shared more.
Hmm.
And I kept thinking, I wish people could be honest and share more also.
Sure.
But in Quebec, we don't stock.
Yeah.
So the wild fish all wind up in that 10% of the of the water that's fishy, and
Right.
then guys on musky crack, right? They just move on the spot and they burn the spot. That's what
Yep.
happens in Quebec or on southern Ontario, when there's good fishing somewhere. I think it's more Quebec and more west eastern Ontario. So we're very protective of limited spots and limited wild fish. And I don't know what it is, but when you go to New York, everybody's like super sociable. And I fish here in this river. I do really well in this month. I use these
Hmm.
tools. You will never hear me say that, right? You'll hear me
Right.
say, this worked. Good luck finding when and where.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a difference in like just baseline the difference in fisheries, dude. Like for example, here in Iowa, we've got like 10 lakes, that have fish in them. Some of them historically, some of them not. Um,
Are they big
and
lakes?
and like the thing about it is, you know, you got a 1 in 10 shot at figuring out what it is, but at the same time, it limits like where your fisheries are. Some of those fish that you're fishing for are natural and have been
They're all
there
natural.
since
There's
the
no
since the dawn of
stocking in
time.
Quebec or Ontario for muskies at all.
Oh,
Not
okay.
right now, anyways. There might have
So they're
there would have been in the past, and there would have been, but not right now. And zero in
so
Quebec.
yeah, so like that's my point is,
Yeah,
you conceivably you can find little secrets that don't exist to people who don't know about them. Whereas
yeah.
here there really aren't any secrets. The
Okay,
fish are where the DNR puts them, you
okay.
know. So this guy's asking, what is our biggest fish? My biggest fish is a 49-inch muskie. It
Mine's
was fat. It was awesome. Yeah, what is
50,
your biggest?
54 by 26, and
Jiminy Christmas.
I've weighed I've weighed multiple 40 pounders in my boat that are usually at least 52 inches.
Yeah.
So but I have yet to touch the 55, and I have yet to touch a 50 pounder. So that 54 by 26 was likely around the 45 pound mark, but I
Yeah.
didn't weigh it. So I'm BSing, right? I'm making stuff up.
I
Am
mean,
I am
does
I
it really
exaggerating?
matter?
No, because a 54-inch fish that's got a 26-inch girth with
That
the
is it's
tail the size of a baby white pack is a heavy animal.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a ridiculously proportioned fish, dude. Like, there's just
Yeah,
no way around that. But so yeah, I mean, that's yeah, probably just shy of 50 pounds. I mean, that's just an
yeah.
absurd fish. Like those fish don't live here. Um, or
That's
yeah, yeah,
heartbreaking. That's too bad because those fish are magical, right? Muskies are great,
sure,
but enormous muskies are kind of this weird fabled.
yeah,
It's like a dragon. It's
right.
this
That's
crazy
true.
animal.
They call them cabbage dragons for a reason. And
Yeah,
it's funny talking to guys like you and Johnny and Duke and some of these guys out east. Like the fish that you guys have access to just don't live here, and
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like Duke will send me a picture or whatever, and he's like, oh, we got a little one today, and it's like a 44-inch fish, and I'm just like, that would be, you know like I didn't put a 44-incher in my boat last year,
Okay,
which
okay.
I
That
mean,
would
some
be
of
a
that is,
mind blowing day for one of your clients.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, my client, biggest client fish that I got last year was a Uh, that was 43. Client got a 43,
Okay.
which was great. Great fish. Nothing wrong with that at all. But at the same time, it's not a 50 pounder.
I
So,
think you and I had this discussion, right? The
mhm. Oh
size
yeah,
of the
totally.
fish you catch does not necessarily determine how good of a fisherman you are.
This is
A
true.
guy could go muskie fishing once in his life and catch a 55-inch fish.
Very
And
much so.
and a guy could be pretty good at catching 50s, right? And he
Sure.
could be only jigging. That also doesn't
Hmm.
make you a great muskie fisherman. A great
Right.
muskie fisherman is very versatile, can adapt, can read waters, can figure muskies out in different areas, can troll, can jig, can drag bottom, can cast, can work a jerk bait, a crank bait, a blade bait. Like a good muskie fisherman is a well-rounded fisherman, just like
Totally.
any other fisherman, right? Like a great walleye fisherman can jig them and troll them and bottom bounce them. You could
Yeah.
be a great walleye troller, you could be a great muskie sniper, but that doesn't make you a great muskie fisherman. And
It's
those
true.
great fishermen could be great in waters where the fish top off at 45 inches. Those great fishermen could be great where the fish top off at 60 inches. So everybody wants to be that guy, but that guy
Right.
is blessed by the waters he is fishing.
Yeah, and I mean that's totally true. I think Johnny and I just recently talked about that, where it's like Queenie looks different depending
In
on where
different
you live
places. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
depending on
yeah,
where you're at.
yeah.
I've been lucky enough to catch 248s out of Iowa. Those fish don't happen here very often, and to bear witness to a couple others of similar size, in the boat. Um, so that means you're doing something right. Like they
Yeah,
just don't get a lot
yeah,
bigger than that here. There are
yeah.
some, but not a ton. Um, and yeah, I mean it's just, and at the end of the day too, it's just all fun, right? Like we're doing it to have fun.
Give me a
So
second here. I'm not going to hear anything. I'm using the blower to get the bubbles out.
yeah, that's pretty critical if you're painting and doing all the things. Um, but yeah, the let's see, what do we got? We got some comments I gotta get caught up on. I'm in Wisconsin, and my biggest is a 43-inch tiger. That is an unreal fish. A 43-inch tiger is huge, especially in Wisconsin because it's likely natural. That fish. That's a fish that's not put there, so that's awesome. Congrats on that. I have yet to get one that big myself. I would love to get one that big. One of my buddies got a 46.5-inch tiger last summer. Uh, from my understanding, it was the year of the tiger in Wisconsin last summer for whatever strange reason, and for whatever reason why. Let's see. Can confirm. First muskie was 45-incher at age 14. That's awesome. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. You get a big one right away when you first start, and then you're just in trouble for the rest of your life. And that's how it works. Um, yeah. So, Alex, you back yet? Are you still heat
I'm
gunning?
here.
All right.
I think I'm going to give another
Yeah.
coat to this guy here.
So we talked about Elvis, the piranha a little bit. What was the thought process behind the piranha?
Uh, so blade baits, I'm going to have to put tape on the spinner. Blade baits work on everything, right? So I said I
Sure.
need a musky blade bait.
Okay, that makes sense.
And but the thing is the way it's weighted right now, it's good to be fished really, really fast.
Yeah,
I haven't figured out the sneaky way to fish it slow. So you got
I
to cast it and reel it in really fast, or you got to troll it at 4 miles an hour and faster.
yeah, I would second that. I mean, it's a good, and it does catch everything. Caught fish in the Amazon, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I uh, I haven't figured. I'm with you on that one. There's not really a good way to slow it down necessarily,
That's right.
um, which is just part of the deal. Um, is that your turner? What is squeaking?
Yeah, it's the stainless rubbing on stainless for my spinner. I'll fix
Oh,
it. I got to put tape to just make it not loud.
yeah, it checks out. But yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, so we got Elvis. Okay, probably the one that is going to be the easiest and most accessible to people generally. Talk about the crazy crank a little bit. Like this is one that I know you have been working hard on. Johnny has worked hard on. A lot of you guys out east. Frank was talking about it on the Ugly Pike not that long ago on Lac Seul. Tell me about the crazy crank.
Okay, so the crazy crank is a 8-inch cedar twitch bait with fancy engineered weights, and it was made by Don Schwartz. Don Schwartz, in his spare time, builds planes.
Okay,
So he's not the average mind. He's the above average mind, right? He's the guy
well,
that's
this
responsible
this is
for the.
bone saw Don, right?
That's right. He created the
Okay,
bone saw. So the
all
bone
right,
saw is a one of a kind top water musky prop bait, and it was a very successful endeavor between Johnny and Don. So Johnny wanted any chance to work with Don again in the future, but Don is an older gentleman. He's retired, so he does not need and or want the headache of bringing his
building
baits to retail.
building baits all the time. Yeah,
That's right. So Johnny gave me one of these baits, and he's like, Alex, I want you to make one of these. It was a bit of a test, right? Alex, can you really? Are
yeah.
you a good bait builder? And then Alex, do you understand? This was a few years back, by the way. Do you understand the value of engineering a bait a certain way, right? Casting,
Right.
retrieving, action,
Yeah.
uh, fun level. And
Yep.
I casted the bait in my pond because Johnny said, "Try this bait. You'll understand why I want you to make it." I casted the bait in my pond, and it's the funnest goddamn bait to cast ever. It's effortless. It's got
It's
2 hooks in the back,
it's
right? So
cool.
it's like weighted far back. It's easy to
Yeah.
cast. It's easy to jerk. It's easy to reel in. It's just a fun bait. So
It's
right
just
when I casted it, I kind of
yeah.
understood why Johnny wanted this bait to go to retail, and
Mhm.
I ended up recreating the bait, and then I made quite a few blanks, and then I painted quite a few. And Don's model had a Lexan lip, and I
Okay.
built some with Lexan lips, but I had problems with some of the lips breaking. I think Matt. I had a conversation with Matt Ridgway about that. He's the one that said,
Yeah.
Alex. He said every few years you will encounter lips that'll just
They're
make
more
your life
brittle.
hell.
Yeah.
So go aluminum. And that's what I did, right? And after
Yeah.
going aluminum, I never looked back. So
Yeah. So here's
now
one.
that I'm
Here's
more used to chain painting and chain building, and now that I
Mhm.
have blanks, and now that I've kind of got a recipe,
Sure.
um, I can make those available to the public. And yeah, um, because it's so much fun, some guys start using it and they get completely addicted.
All
And
right.
because it's so user friendly, eventually, eventually you
Mhm.
use it, and eventually it's part of your rotation. It's going to
Right.
be the bait that you go back to when you want to break, or the bait that you go back to when you want to go shallow, or the bait that you go back to when um,
I mean,
you want to go back to
it's
your
one that
puller.
I've leaned on for clients. That is for sure. I
Yeah,
was
it's
gonna.
yeah, so guides have told me what a great client bait. Also,
Yeah. I mean, and that's just a different kind of. That's just a different thing. Like something that I wouldn't have thought about before. I got one here. I was gonna hold it up quick if I can. Nope, that's the wrong box.
I
Hold on.
got one here with a. Let me find one.
I got one of the new lips that you're talking about here. I just
Okay,
got it. I just got to
the
pull it
axe
out.
lip.
I think. Let's see. Here we go.
I'll get. Oh, see, I get.
Yeah, this one. This is great. Orange belly perch. That
Yeah,
is just freaking money, and it's got the aluminum lip. But yeah, it's a great client bait. The only trouble that I've had client wise is just they are a little light. So if
yeah.
someone is not used to a bait caster, get ready to help with a couple backlashes, and then it'll be fine. But
Yeah,
also,
it's a 2 ounce and a bit bait with the hooks
yeah,
on it. Add another half ounce.
yeah, and
It's not a bait you put on a big rubber rod. It's a bait you put on your blade and swim bait rod
yeah,
on a heavy rod, not a double X heavy rod. Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree. You think Johnny's wife is gonna like this one?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. I'll probably send that one her way.
I
As a
got.
10, she can work some witchcraft with that thing that most people can't. So excited to see what that one becomes.
I've been getting creative with piling on. I think it was listening to you and Adam Mueller. Adam's like, yeah, he's like, I really like playing around and laying wet paint on top of wet paint, and a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, wet paint over wet paint. I'm like, let me try that. So the green you see there
Hmm. That thing
isn't
looks
green.
fantastic.
That's blue on top of yellow, right?
Yeah.
The green you see there, and then I can get purples out of pink, although that back is purple. So
Hmm.
these are the wild colors.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
There's something a lot more classic for
Yep. That
just the
looks like
shad for all those American reservoir bites.
yeah,
But yeah,
those
so
are gonna be
I'll have
necessary.
10 of those available at the New York
I was gonna say there's gonna be some New York guys that'll pick up on that shad, I'm
Muskie
sure.
Expo, and then I'll have about 20 for the Odyssey. And that big bait
Nice.
you guys saw me doing, that was a taxman. That's a
Oh,
taxman, but that's going to be a snub nose taxman. It's a taxman with a different lip.
okay. Okay. Interesting. Tell me
Also
more
a
if you
tad
can.
shorter.
Okay.
Tad shorter.
Interesting. Tell me more if you can or not.
I
Um,
can't yet. I got to run it
okay.
first and hook
Okay.
fish with it.
Okay. Okay.
I'll talk about it when it's caught fish.
Okay. That's fine. I'm excited though because the Taxmans are freaking cool baits, dude. Those things are unreal. And I've noticed that you haven't really put any out this year, which might make some people sad, myself included. But also, it makes me appreciate the one that I have even more, to be quite
Yeah,
honest. So,
there's very few out there, and I'm gonna keep it that way. They are a shitload of work, and um, the time it took to make them was time I needed to spend on Elvis since
mhm.
I stopped making them. So I had I had to design the Elvis mold, then I had to figure out the density of the resin I wanted to use. Then I
Okay.
had to figure out which lips were going to go on there. And I must have made a dozen lips, and I got 4 lips to perform immediately. But uh, those lips are going to come out 1 year at a time. So there's going to be 4 years of Elvis lips coming out, and I made available the most user friendly and the most the lip that got the most bites this year. Got
Okay.
the most
Well,
bites, and I don't believe it was the one with the most time on the water. I think the shallow got the most time on the water. No, see, they all got quite a bit of time. I had to fish them all, right? You can't put a bait on the market without fishing the crap out of it.
so Alex, this guy's got a good question. Is there any way for people who can't make it to the shows to get your hands or get their hands on your baits?
Uh, Best way is going to be if I have some left over after the Odyssey, or join Barbarian, the Barbarian Tough as SHXT group
Yeah.
on Facebook, and I make baits available there sporadically. Right, you guys also get to see what I'm working on, and you
Yeah, get a window into the creative mind. It's
yeah,
kind of a cool
we
thing.
could. Yeah, we could. So one of these is headed your way, Matt. Let me. Is it?
What's that?
I'll show you. It's a slash bait. That's a
Okay.
new thing in the forward facing sonar bass scene. Slash baits, And I think you'll like it because it's
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
We
Let me
we
show you.
chatted a little bit
Yeah.
about it, but yeah. Because I'm just
I'll pull
trying to.
out yours specifically.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I know we've been collaborating on kind of a list of sorts, if you will, and
You put a lot of fish in the boat, eh? Guys that are putting 80 fish a year in the boat have
well,
a
it wasn't that many last year because of kids and time on the water, but I
uh,
think we still ended up with 60 or so. So I mean,
okay. Well, see, 60 is a big number, but
it's a lot of fish.
a big sample makes for more more adequate stats. A big
Yeah,
sample, more the bigger the sample, the less likely you're fooled by coincidence, right? So here
right.
it is.
So similar to kind of a crazy crank blank, but
Yeah, I started off with a crazy crank blank, but flat bottom and then
mhm.
very heavily weighted, very heavily weighted. So
Yeah, that's super interesting. I know exactly
yeah,
where I'm going to throw
so
that, Alex.
drop. Then when you jerk it, it crazy erratic motion.
Hmm.
Drop, crazy erratic motion. Hey, I'd say it's like a tube. I'd say yeah, as
Yeah,
erratic and kind of crazy as ripping a tube,
I know
but in a
exactly when and where I'm going to throw that.
much more compact
Yeah.
format.
Yep. I already know what I'm going to do with that thing.
And I
Yep.
figured, yeah, I figured because it's meant for guys that appreciate those sinking dive and rise
Yeah.
or sinking jerk baits. Yeah, something
Yeah,
different.
it'll just be figuring out the rate of sink. That thing will be perfect for the sandgrass program up north. Like that's that is literally exactly what they're eating down there off those sandgrass breaks is perch that exact size eating bugs out of the sandgrass.
I
I mean, it's
glittered the
just
crap out of it, and that's what a prototype looks like. It's built from the inside out. It's just shiny enough for fish to eat it, but the paint level is
hey,
3 out of 10.
I don't need it to look fancy. I just need it to catch fish. Let's see. Joel, thanks, dude. I appreciate that people watch because sometimes the YouTube scene feels pretty lonely and pretty fruitless, if I'm being 100% honest. So I'm glad that I got guys like Alex and others who appreciate what I do because it makes that feel less fruitless. So the and Alex just keeps me company while I'm working on baits and getting other stuff ready. So appreciate that too. Um, yeah, what else you got? I mean, talk about the rods a little bit, Alex. I
I
mean,
can
I don't know if people even really know about the rods all that much, or if that's not something you want to
let
get
me see
into.
if I can.
Because I know that you've had some supply line issues and stuff like that, which has made the rod thing kind of more difficult than it needed to be over the last couple of seasons.
I can touch on
But
that a little bit. I'm sitting on my bench press. Everything's in this room. This is a take care of business room. It's storage.
hey, nothing wrong with that.
It's storage for all the barbarian stuff, storage for fishing stuff, and then it's where I bench press and squat. So rods have been an extreme pain in the ass for the last year
Yeah.
because Fuji decided that they were going to take 6 to 8 months to fulfill orders. So it takes a couple months to build a rod, right?
Sure.
And then when you add 8 months to that to get a component, and you don't really know if you're getting it within 6 months or 8 months, that makes things extremely difficult. In
Oh
Canada,
yeah.
we've got a chain of stores called Dollarama.
Okay.
And Dollarama basically buys goods off insurance companies or shipping companies once the shipping company did not deliver the goods. So let's say Walmart in the contracted time. Why?
Okay.
Because inventory and inventory timelines turn into immense amounts of money at the end of the year, especially when you're talking about something like Walmart that has an endless list of products. So this is what
Yeah.
happened to me last year. It took me a year to get casting rods.
Hmm.
Not a Yeah, like I don't have the casting rods yet. So yeah, it's gonna take a year to take casting rods. And when that happens, your retailers kind of cringe and grind their teeth
Right. Right.
and are disappointed because they don't get to make sales. So
Right.
I kind of had to struggle through that, and I had to figure out a way to avoid that issue in the future, which
Hmm.
means at a certain time in the next month, I'll have more rods in inventory than I would have ever imagined. Um, so again, this year I'll have the spear. So that's an 8 foot one piece heavy trolling rod. That's
That
very
thing
appreciated
is,
by the muskie market.
I like it. Having used that one and used the chaos ones, it is probably, to be quite honest, beefier than what I need for most of the fish that I fish with. But I appreciate having it because, like, I I mean, you did it. You literally put a blade on it and threw it into a tree. So I mean, like, it, it's meant for the biggest stuff that swims. There's no doubt about it. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So,
So
and
that's the other thing, right? So I started fishing the Ottawa River, and the Ottawa River, you'll be trolling and you'll hook an ice shack at the bottom of the river. The
yeah,
Ottawa River is very hard on gear.
I get
Um,
that.
so I and the brown water Ottawa River fish, they like big baits. They like little baits, but they rather big baits, right? Like a 13-inch bait is a proven winning recipe on the Ottawa River.
Hmm.
So I had to build a rod that fit the Barbarian OG, right? The 90
Right.
pound OG braid that's more like 110 pound. I needed something that could pull your bait off that ice fishing shack once you get snagged on bottom. And when I developed the rod, um, there was a bit of there was basically a shortage of trolling rods available in Canada, and within a year, Chaos and myself had filled that trolling gap. My goal was never
Yeah.
to compete with companies. My goal was always to fill a gap in the trolling market. So lately, I've started accumulating components to make inline spinners and spinner baits because I guess the price of materials has gone up and shipping has gone up. So when you're shipping heavy stuff and also tariffs,
Yeah.
right, in
Yeah.
between Canada and
Yeah.
the States, the tariff
Yeah.
war made it really expensive to ship. So there was a shortage of musky lure building components. So I started piling up wire. I started piling up. I've got blade molds coming. I've got blade molds made actually, so I can get blades made if I want. I've got beads. I think I bought. I think I bought 40,000 beads.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like 60 pounds of beads. It's ridiculous. It's a giant box. It just makes no sense.
Hmm.
But those beads made a few guys ecstatic because there had been a problem with the beads that were available for the uh, last many
Okay.
months. So the goal has always been fill gaps in the market. And then there was no 10-foot rods in Canada, so I came out with the Barbarian Queen,
The
10
Queen.
foot
Yeah.
three telescopic X heavy blade and swim bait rod. And again, I'm not going to build it with crappy components. I'm going to build it with the best value components I can find, and
Right.
that's what I did, and it paid off because it created a very nice product that's very appreciated by everyone.
I like mine. I can tell you that. I tell
Yeah,
people all the time it's the best. It's by far the best, like, top water bucktail rod that I've used, and I have used a 9.6 2020 for years, and there's nothing wrong with that rod. It's a great rod for bucktails, but
at at 10 foot
that's
three,
just
you
what
and
it
I
is.
don't have to bend over all day to figure eight either. At
No,
ten
because
foot three,
how tall are you, Alex?
I'm 6 foot even. I say
Okay.
6'1" because I'm taller than everybody that calls themselves 6'1".
Okay, fair enough.
How tall are
I
you?
I'm just over like 6'2". I like between
Okay,
6'2" and 6'3". Depends on what kind of shoes I'm wearing on the day,
I
but
saw you in a picture beside. It was at the
it was at Wausau last year.
yeah
Bunch of the guys.
beside Regan,
Yeah.
and
Regan's
he's a big boy,
Regan's huge.
and you
I
made him look tiny. I'm like,
well,
what's
that some
going
of that
on
was
here?
just the forced perspective of the photo. Regan
Yeah,
is much
I'm like,
larger
what's
than
she? I'm
I
like, and it's not like
am. I'm a
you
little
made him
taller
look
than he is,
small.
but
I was like, Regan's got arms the size of my leg. Like Regan's
yeah,
a
no
big boy.
kidding.
So, um, anyways, that was hilarious, and everybody made that comment too. It was like the
Yeah.
running gag of the Wausau picture. Everybody that
Yeah.
knows Regan from the other shows and the Chaos Boys and that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It was like the running gag, like how big is Vavrok? It's the first time we see him come out. He's like
Not that
six
big.
foot seven or something.
Not that big. 6'3" on a good day. But to your point about the rods, is it is nice having that 10-foot rod because you're right. Then I don't have to bend over. Even with like a 9.6 rod, I'm still doing that to a degree. So
And
yeah,
10
no,
foot is a lot of leverage and it's less work to cast all day.
yeah,
It
I
just, you
would
go
agree.
like this and the lure just,
Yep. Well,
yeah.
and it's kind of nice too because it doesn't. It's interesting because it doesn't overload on bigger blades as you're bringing them into the eight, but it also loads just right when you're casting like smaller ones. Like I was throwing like some of KV's stuff on it over the summer and it was performing great on those. Which isn't I don't know. I think it's a tough balance to strike and you got it. So kudos,
It's,
man.
it's a fast tip, uh, with, X heavy, blank at the bottom near the
Hmm.
handle, right? So it's supposed to take tons of weight, but also load up right for baits that are, 2-3 ounces.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No,
we
it's
messed
great.
around, right? Like I had to go through 3 or 4 blanks before I figured out what I wanted. And my rod guy is really good at following my exact specs, and my exact specs are very demanding because I'm, as I said this week, violently demanding.
Right. Yeah. No,
Why?
I get it.
Because when we musky fish, we can't afford to not have the best gear.
Yep.
Muskies don't give us too many chances. We can't mess
They do
chances
not.
up because of gear. So be demanding, buy the best stuff, modify it if you want to. I did a lot of
Hmm.
that for years. I tweaked my
Yeah.
baits to make them better. Oh, you're going to love this. So I was a huge fan of Walk the Dog Top. They're both there. I was a huge fan of Walk the Dog Topwater forever. And my first years musky fishing,
What's up, Bob? Thanks for
caught tons
hopping
of
in,
fish
dude.
with this guy here. Just a little dock, a 6-inch little dock. And look,
Okay.
I repainted it. Now, so for some reason, I gave this guy up. Why? Because I found a prop bait bite. And
Okay.
before, can you tell this is a river to sea? You see what this is? So that's foam to insulate windows, right? And then
Okay.
it's a lot of electric tape. So the minute I did that to this bait, I started catching muskies with it. Why? Because when I casted this bait out, it would sink just a little bit, not just a little bit. It'd probably sink like 6 inches, and then
Hmm.
it would come back up to the top eventually. But that initial sink for 6 inches and pull it back up because of the prop would ruin my cast, right?
Okay.
I want that thing to land on top of the weeds, and
Oh,
I want it to float. I want it to float immediately. Then I want it to work it over the weeds, and then work it over the break. And the muskies will eat it in the weeds and at the break, and then they won't eat it off the break. So
right.
the minute I made this thing more buoyant, muskies just started eating it. Look how ridiculous that is as a modification. And
Oh, yeah.
this bait pulled. Muskies loved it. Then I just started looking for more buoyant top water prop baits, and I found
Hmm.
them. Um, but I've always modified the crap out of baits just to get them to do what you want, right? So you could glue a rattle to a bait. You could add a bell sinker to a bait. You could change out the hooks, smaller hooks, bigger hooks, heavier hooks, lighter hooks. Um, you could add a little blade at the back of your bait, just a little tiny willow blade. You could add
Sure.
hair
I've done that
on the
before.
tail hook of the bait. These are all things that could potentially make the bait much, 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 much better.
Um, Bob, we are staying warm. Appreciate it. You can see that I'm somewhat more bundled up than normal in my garage as I'm working today. Flat Brim, speaking of Flat Brim's in the chat now. What's up, Flat Brim? How's it going,
Jim,
dude?
you recognize this view, Jim?
Jim's the
Him and
man.
I, he impressed me quite a bit with his bench pressing, and he
Dude,
kind of
I hope
motivated
I'm
me to try it myself. So at some point, we were sending videos back and forth, measuring, having a member measuring contest to see who could bench press the most. To this day, Jim still bench presses more, I think.
well, to be fair, this gets back into our height conversation and leverage conversation. I think that you probably have a little bit more length to go than Flat Brim, but I don't
That's
know Flat
exactly
Brim.
what he said, right? So I had him beat for a little bit, and then I'm like, but then he kind of crushed me, and he's like, your arms are a lot longer. Don't feel bad. So
Yep.
and my arms, yeah, there's a lot of arm. At
Yeah.
our height, to become big bulky dudes, we need to weigh a ton because there's a
Yeah.
you need to put a lot of muscle on a long arm to make it look
Yeah.
like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. It's just a genetic thing at that point, and you either got it or you don't, or you take steroids, and I'm not taking steroids. So that is what it is. Um, so yeah. um, but anyway, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. But I hope that I'm in half as good a shape as Flat Brim is at his age when I am his age, because that is impressive enough for me, to be quite honest. Um, yeah.
100% natural, he says.
Well, that's great. Get it, Flat Brim. You think KV's gonna like this one? He called dibs on this one. You can't quite see the all the
Yeah, you
colors
need
and
to get
stuff.
me some light, Matt. So yeah, it looks
I
good.
know, I know. It's just I'm trying to work with it and not show like the entirety of my dirty garage as I've been like organizing and changing all kinds of stuff.
A clean
Um,
garage is an unused garage.
well, it's basically like organize all the stuff this winter when my boat's in storage, and then once the boat comes back, then it's like whatever. Um, yeah. So, anything else new on the horizon? As I'm just like riffing, because like I know that your time is precious and short, but I also want to make sure I give you every opportunity to talk about the stuff you want to this afternoon, I guess.
Let me think here. So
All right.
Elvis is the big available new thing. Crazy
Okay.
Crank is the most easiest available new thing. I have Crazy Cranks ready if people are interested. Elvis, you have to wait for the Odyssey. The rods, I've got trolling rods as we speak. Guys in the States can order their trolling rods from Izoko, but again, you guys are going to have to pay that tariff when stuff gets to you, so you might want to wait
Yeah.
a couple more months. I'll have trolling and casting rods at the Odyssey. I'm at the New York show next weekend. There'll be
Hmm.
a nice layout of stuff there. I've got a weird little thing that a couple little new products that. So this is a Barbarian swim bait
Yeah.
head.
I need a couple of those. I know that I've talked
Add them,
smack
add
about
them to
those
your
in the
list.
past.
So as they sit, they're very nice to screw into big rubbers, but screws don't work on elastisol, right? So any big rubber, do I have one set up? I'll show you one that's set up. Two of them. That's just an example of it rigged. And then you put wire here, wire there. You could put a wire
Hmm.
on top if you want. There's 2 eyes if you want a cast or if you want a jig. I There's a bait back there. I got a white swim bait like this, and 2 years ago I missed my biggest fish of the year on that jigging. So
Oh
I
man.
had to. And what happened? I was using a like a 3 ounce jig head, and I straightened the basis. The weight for the rig was a 3 ounce jig head, and I
Okay.
straightened out the hook. And I told myself I will never do that again. So I had to make something bulkier that I could put trebles and wire on. So yeah, Barbarian swim bait head. These are available. I can ship these out to you guys anytime. I can ship braid out to you guys anytime. All I do is just pay the duties at my end, pay the tariff and duties at my end. Let me think here.
Well, no, the swim the resistance to the swim bait head on my end, it gets back into our conversation of the best tool for the job. So a lot of times, I'm ripping weeds and stuff. I don't want to destroy my bait before it even has a chance to catch fish. But there are times too where you're throwing stuff like an Alabama rig where those types of heads are really useful, and you can use them and do those kinds of things with them where you're not having to worry about ripping it out of weeds. You just got to you know run the bait, so to speak. So tool for every job.
Yeah,
That's just how.
tools. That's what it is. We're building. We're filling our toolbox. That's exactly what it is. And then it's
Yeah,
piranha. I got piranhas pre-made also.
those are great baits. I mean, they're
Connor
just cool and
crushed it
unique.
down on the Amazon with these.
I
Eh?
know.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
So yeah, if
just
you're a
nutty.
fast troller and you're looking for something different that you want to put in the prop, 20 feet behind the boat or 15 to 20 feet behind the boat at 4 miles an hour, that'll thump your rod like crazy. Fish will come up and grab it in 14, 15 feet of water. It'll only be about 4 feet deep. It's a fun little tool, but it's very new, right?
Right.
And musky guys are hesitant to put something new on their rod.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
forced to have new stuff on my rods all the time. That's why I like being 2 or 3 guys in the boat, so that we've got
Yes.
the tried and true
Yep.
available for the fish to show us whether they're on or not. And then we have the new stuff available available to show us if the new stuff works. And at the beginning of the year, in a small opener, which is early June, nothing
Hmm.
else is open here. Elvis got 3 fish and 3 nice fish, like mid 40s, fat, post spawn feed bag females. And
The kind that you want, right?
yeah, and I was running a new bait beside proven baits, right? So when when my Elvis gets 3 fish and it's running beside pullers,
Right.
that's a sign that it doesn't catch a fish; it catches all the fish, right? Um,
Right.
it was the bait of the trip, and that's probably my best accomplishment of the year. When I figured out Elvis was a home run, Elvis version 2 was a home run on the first try. It doesn't usually happen that way.
Yeah.
It was version 2, right? So it didn't happen that way. It took 3 years. Um,
Sure. Well, yeah.
but
I
it
mean,
paid
it's
off.
just it's all testing and trial and error and all those things. So then when it actually comes together, that's huge. You know.
And the way I go about it is, first you got to make sure the bait does not scare the fish away. So we
Right.
all know fish love certain vibrations,
Yes.
but that means they also hate certain vibrations. So we all have a bait that
This is
fish
true.
won't touch, and we all have a bait that fish can't stay away from, even though the bait doesn't even look like it used to, right? Completely
Right.
destroyed baits that get smashed. So the goal is always to find out that the fish aren't scared of the bait, and then to find out, does it catch a fish or all the fish. And yeah, I'm really proud of Elvis for that. Now it's just a question of getting it in the right people's hands. You're going to be one of those guys, and
Appreciate it.
showing the world that Elvis is the king of rock and roll.
That's right.
That's already catching on. The king of rock and roll.
Yeah. I like it, dude. I'm excited to try some of those tools. Again, I think like, just as we go on more family boat rides and stuff up north, and just like trolling isn't my thing, but like if you're going for a boat ride, you might as well put a couple rods down, right? So like, I think just from that perspective, there'll be times where I try different stuff, and like it's just going to be a lot of wash type rods, and it'll either happen or it won't. And like, if the rod's not down there, it's not like you're going to catch anything anyway. So, it's just part of the deal at that point. Yeah,
I
this
had
was.
that shallow. I tuned a shallow Elvis yesterday at the
Hmm.
river, and I had it going really fast, and it was staying down. So that might be a good option for you in the prop.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
sounds good. So
but
you tune you
piranha will
tune
do the
all of
job
those
in the
things.
prop too.
So you tune
Depends what
all
the fish
self
want.
tune. Okay,
Yeah.
you self tune all those, or how's that work, Alex? Like you.
So I what did I do? Oh, I put glass eyes on that shallow, and it's the first time I put glass eyes on a shallow. Usually, I put dead meat customized, so they're stick on uh,
Okay.
3D. I guess they're vinyl, but they're a thicker plastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, so I tuned that one, and it's one my son painted. Do I have it here? No, I don't.
Well, that's kick it. That's
Or
awesome.
my
Get the
son
kids
picked the
involved.
paint jobs. So I wanted to make sure with the glass eye it ran well, and it ran great because I was jerking the crap out of it. It was staying
Hmm.
underwater, and I was running down the dock with it, and it was staying underwater. So the glass eyes might be an option in the future. I don't like. I'm scared of changing the recipe because the recipe works, and I feel like I feel like I don't know how to say it. I feel like I'm polishing a clean truck. Like it's already clean, it's already working, it's already a
Right.
good tool. Why are you adding stickers to it? Why are you adding, But uh, glass eyes they add a little bit of weight, and they do add they do give it a look, right?
Yeah.
There's some pretty cool glass eyes out there.
Yeah, and it's just a different vibe for a different thing, dude. I mean, it's
That's
just
right.
yeah. No, that's cool. I appreciate you kind of giving me a window into just the mad scientist process that you know undertake and get after with all your baits and all the things, and it's just cool, man. So I know that you've got BJJ tonight, so I don't want to take too much of your time if you have other things to do. I know how a family man of yourself, like time is very precious and does not.
What time is it right now? We've been doing this for 57 minutes based on a timer.
Yeah, so it's 3:08 here. So it's 4:08 where you're at, right?
4:08. I probably better get going. I got to pick up the baby, and then I got to leave here at 5:30 for jujitsu. And the baby's 20 minutes away.
All right. Well, that
That's going
sounds
to be a
good, man.
tight one.
Yeah. No, I'll let you go. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. Um, yeah, and I appreciate being part of the Barbarian program. So uh, hopefully hopefully this has been useful to some other people and given some info out that maybe they wouldn't have had before. So appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be on here. And guys, feel free to reach out. Instagram and Facebook. I'm easy to get a hold of. If you got questions, go nuts. If you need something, just ask. The worst I'll say is I don't have it, or I can't get it to you, but we can likely figure something out.
You bet, dude. Well, that sounds great. I'll let you run so that way you can do your thing. And yeah, thanks again for coming on and chatting with me, dude.
Thanks
Take
a
care.
bunch,
And
Matt. Have a great one, and see some of you guys in New York next week.
yep, that sounds great, dude. See you soon.
Adios.